Hey guys, I'm here behind the camera. You're not going to see me for this video. So I have seen quite a few people here do this. I've seen Dannie do this, I've seen Erynn do this, and I'm pretty sure there's other people that have done this that I can't think of right now. I think Paula has done this. So this is not like an original idea. I'm going to leave those channels as well as their videos and things like that in the description box. So if you like this kind of video, there will be more content there for you to binge. But this is just going to be an overview of like everything that I am project panning. Like I said in my tips video, I do like to lay everything out before I start a new project pan, and then that way I can kind of see like where I've spread myself too thin, or like, oh, I only have one or two of these things, so I could add in some more, just things like that. So as well, in the description box, I will leave the playlists of all of my current project pans in case you want to go and like check up on those. But that's all this is going to be, just a video, one video showing you everything. If I counted correctly, I believe there are 38 items in front of you, but that number is lower than the actual number of products I am panning, simply because I did not count. Like, I have a whole blush palette in my Pan That Face palette, and instead of counting the individual pans of blushes, I just counted it as one like whole product. So the number is just a bit higher. But yeah, without any further rambling, let's just get right on into this. Okay, so I am currently panning two face primers. So this one from CoverGirl is their Outlast All Day primer. This is a matte primer. I really like this. You can see how thin it is. I believe I've pushed the air pocket out of this. This is not currently in a specific project, but it's one of those items that I'm like unofficially panning like behind the scenes. I think it's really helpful to add those items into this type of thing, because if I didn't, then I would sit here thinking like, oh, I'm only panning one primer, but in reality it's two. So the other primer I am panning is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and so this is in my 21 by 2021. If you guys have been following along, this has just like been my daily pore filling primer. I'm fine with it. I don't think there's anything like spectacular about it, but it does the job, so I wouldn't mind like repurchasing this product like once it's done. But yeah, two face primers. Okay, so for foundations, panning two foundations. This one from Too Faced, the Peach Perfect Matte Foundation. If you're curious, I have mine in the shade Nude. I feel like that's a pretty good shade match, maybe just a hair darker than what I would need in the winter, but I think I've put this one on hold though. If you saw my last update for 21 by 2021, I'm unsure of if this is breaking me out or not, so for a month it's going to be on hold with no progress made to it. And then the other foundation I am panning is the CYO Long Lasting Life Proof Foundation. I have mine in the shade 103. This is in my Fall4U Project Pan. You can see we've already moved a little bit from the mark, but the goal with both of these is to finish them up. The CYO one is my favorite of the two. This is actually my holy grail foundation, and someone did helpfully comment in one video that the Soap and Glory Kick-Ass foundation, I think, is supposed to be a really good kind of like similar product to this. So as soon as I dwindle down my foundation numbers, I would not mind checking that out. But for the sake of this, we are panning two foundations. Alright, so for concealer, we are only panning one concealer. I'm not like low-key panning any other ones, it's just this one. This has just been my favorite concealer. So this is also in my 21 by 2021 project pan. I have mine in the shade Fair Warm. I don't know if it'll focus on that for you guys, but it is in the shade Fair Warm. This is the hydrating e.l.f. camo concealer, if I didn't say that. I really like this. It doesn't make my under eyes look like dry and crepey, so definitely a win with this one. Okay, so for like pressed powder products, I am currently panning three. So this first one is from Laura Geller. This is their Baked Balance and Brighten color correcting foundation powder in the shade Fair. This is in my 21 by 2021. This is 20 grams worth of product, and you guys know this has been such a slow moving powder foundation. I really enjoy this product, but I have learned with these big daddy kind of products that it's it's much wiser to set a usage goal and then the next time try to hit pan and then the next time try to finish it, because I've been working on this since January off and on. Like, it's not been my daily, you know, powder, but off and on since January, and we still have no pan. Okay, and then I also am working on the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. This is in my 21 by 2021 as well. You're going to see the most items in there because it's a rolling 10 pan, so it's the one project where I have like the most items. But yeah, the goal is to also finish this off. And then I have this Ulta Beauty Finishing Powder. This is actually in my Project 50 pan categories. This packaging is so hard to open. I have had to repress this, and you can see it's starting to like crack. I don't know, I've never had an item do that. It's really weird. This is not a favorite powder by any means. This is in the shade Fair to Light. I feel like this gives my skin like a weird pink tint to it when I wear it, so I will be happy once this guy is gone and out of my life. Okay, for bronzers, we are panning 3 bronzers. This first one from Wet n Wild is a cream bronzer. This is in my oh, what is it in? It's in my Project 50 pan. So the goal there is just to use it 10 times. I think I'm at that mark. I'd have to check my paper. I've either hit that 10 use mark goal or I have like just a few more to go. I am going to keep this in my collection and try to finish it off. It looks a little orange on camera, but actually like in real life and in person, like when I blend it out, it's not that orange, so it is something that I can work on and finish out of my collection. Once this is gone though, I think I might just eliminate cream bronzers from my like makeup collection. Just, you know, I feel like it's an extra bougie step that I don't really need. Then unofficially, this is a highlighter from the Balm. It's the Bonnie Luminizer. But you guys can see it's kind of dark and goldeny, so I like to use this as a golden like bronzer, like to make any matte bronzer glowy. I really like that. So while this is not in an official project, I do reach for this quite often. I have this wasn't a project at the beginning of the year. If I'm not mistaken, it was in my 21 by 2021, and I hit pan in it, and I've just continued to use it, and so all of that pan has happened this year, and so it's just one of those items where as long as it's like summer and warm, I'm gonna keep reaching for this and just see how much damage I can actually do on it. And then the last bronzer is from Bare Minerals. This is in my Pan That Face palette. So this is their Invisible Bronze, and it's in the shade Fair to Light. And the goal with this is to use this up. Now this is a baked product, so I know it's not going to be like nice shiny pan, but I don't know if I'm like close to hitting like the grid or whatever this is baked on, but just slowly making good progress on it. Alright, let's do highlighters because there are quite a few. Ooh. Oh, it landed face up. Haha, no worries. Let's start with that one. So, this is a highlighter from Tarte. It is in the shade Strobe, if I'm not mistaken. This was from their Tarteist Pro to Glow palette, like the big one that had 4 highlighters and 2 bronzers. This is in my Pan That Face palette, and you guys can see, oh, it is just a thin little, you know, nothing in there. So hopefully this could be gone. I think it's going to be the end of September. I was hoping it would be the end of August, but I think it's going to be the end of September. So then I have a ColourPop Super Shock highlighter. This is in my Fall4U Project Pan. This is in the shade Smoke and Whistles. I just absolutely love this. It's like a great like pink champagne-y kind of highlighter. It's just super pretty, so flattering. It works really well like on its own, but also layered with other highlighters, so definitely enjoying that. Then from my Project 50 pan, I have this Makeup Revolution palette that they did in collaboration with Soph, and I'm working on this kind of like white gold shade right here, and then also this like kind of darker peachy shade. So let me quickly, they're like right together. Could you have done a more terrible swatch? You didn't come here for the swatches, you just came here to see the items, right? So those 2 highlighters. Then in my, knocked the camera. Sorry about that. In my Fall4U Project Pan, I'm also working on these Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. These are in the shade Moonlight if you can read that. I don't know if it'll focus. These were sweetly gifted to me from Laura. I absolutely love these. These are just so nice mixed in with your primer or your foundation. So the goal is to use this up. And then I have this ColourPop light stick. Does anyone else have this problem with ColourPop where your wording rubs off? So this is in the shade Magpie. This is just a cream stick highlighter. I have this in my Partners in Cream Project Pan. This kind of has like a pinky shift to it. I thought for a moment that it would be too dark for me, and it does look fairly dark there on camera. It's this one obviously, but it blends out really nicely and I don't find that it looks too dark. So then this last highlighter is, again, not in a project. This is kind of one of those things that I'm low-key panning. So this is the Tarte liquid highlighter, and it's in the shade Exposed. This is probably one of my oldest cream products. So you can see like there's some still up here, I think, but I've pushed the air bubble out, and so it's really thin. Would love to get this worked out of my collection by the end of the year. I really like this. Again, I like to mix it in with my foundations, so just wanted to include it in here since I am kind of like unofficially panning it. Okay, next we have our blushes, so we will take them one by one. So the first one is in my 21 by 2021. This is a ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Count Me In. I know I said in that video that I wanted to concentrate on this one more and put a lot of my other cream blushes on hold. And I think I'm actually going to focus more of my attention on my Balm palette, because this is not like a favorite. I don't like the formula of it. It's just one of those products where it's like not terrible. Oh Lord, look at that. I told you the packaging on this was breaking. So it's one of those products where it's not terrible. Like I can finish it off, but it's just not a favorite. And so I had thought like, well, I have less of this. Let me move this out of my collection first. But the money, this is only $8, whereas that Balm palette was $32. So I would love to get the value out of that one. Like if this goes off, like while that's sad, I think I've used a lot of it and wouldn't be as upset if this were to go bad rather than my Balm palette. So then I have this little blush. This is from my Pan That Face palette. This is from Ofra, but I'm not sure like of a shade name or anything. So the last time you guys saw this, it did have Pan on it, but I just had a few items that I needed to repress. So I decided like, well, why not just throw this in there as well and repress this. So this is my peachy blush from there. Then I have this. This is also in my Pan That Face palette. This is from Profusion. This is their Blush 1 palette. So I'm working on everything in here except for this Bronzite shade, with the goal to finish off all of these blushes. Spoiler alert, we have Pan on the shade Blossom, so exciting. And then the last thing of blushes that we are working on is of course the Balm How About Them Apples palette. So in case you've missed it, this is from my Partners in Cream. I've been working on this since January. Last year, I did finish off Cider and Caramel. So as of January 2021, I have been working on Candy, Cobbler, Crisp, and Pie, and finished off Candy and Cobbler, as you can see. So my goal is to switch focus and try to use up Pie and then finish off the year with Crisp. So there is all of my blushes. Alright, so for brows, I'm only panning one brow item. This is a dip brow pomade from ABH in the shade Taupe. So I really have enjoyed using this for my brows. I think this is a great value product. However, I just choose not to, repurchase this particular brand, but this did make me fall in love with pomades, and someone very helpfully suggested in my last 21 by 2021 update to try to rehydrate this by just essentially like mixing, like swirling it around with like a toothpick or something, and that should help get rid of the like stiffness and dried out aspect. So as you can see, I've yet to do that, but that is on my to-do list for today. We have 4 different lip products. We have a lip primer from NYX that we are working on in our Project 50 pan with the goal to use this up. I have a lip liner from Essence in the shade 06 Under My Skin in my 21 by 2021 with the goal to use this up as well. In my Partners in Cream, I have a Bite Beauty lipstick in the shade Honeycomb with the goal to just hit the B. So we are very close to that goal. And then from my Project 50 pan, I have this NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie with the goal to finish this off. You can see all the like windows and gaping. I have removed the stopper from this, so those are all of my lip products. All right, so then we will just talk about facial products. So in my 21 by 2021, I have this AHA BHA Peeling Solution Mask from The Ordinary that I'm working on. This is a Garnier Skin Active facial mist, and it's in like a rose water. And this is one of those items that I'm just unofficially project panning, but I thought I would throw it in here because in my Fall4U Project Pan, I am working on my Mario Badescu facial spray. This is Sage and Orange Blossom. And then the last kind of facial spray is from 21 by 2021, and this is the Laura Geller Spackle Mist. I use this as like a priming step. So those are all the like facial spray type products or just like skincare type products. So now I'm gonna zoom you in and we will do eyeshadows. The first little eyeshadow album is what I was gonna say. First eyeshadow palette I'm working on is in my Project 50 pan. This is the e.l.f. Bite Size Quad in Cream and Sugar. My goal with this is to just use this palette 10 times and kind of decide if it has a place in my collection. Spoiler alert, I don't think it has a place in my collection. You guys have heard me rant and rave about this. I'm not going to get into it. This is worth the $3, but it is not. Like, people are comparing this to Natasha Denona, and there's just no way. There's just no way. The shimmers in here are super dry. I'm just really unimpressed with it. So, eyeshadow palette 1. Okay, let's do these singles right quick. This is from my Partners in Cream. No, it is not a Pixie by Petra. This is actually a Stila Glitter and Glow in the shade Kitten Karma mixed with a loose pigment from ColourPop in the shade Red Zone. So I made like my own cream eyeshadow. This is really pretty like on its own, but how I have been wearing it normally is as like a sticky base to really make shimmer shades pop. So that is kind of like what that looks like. Then I have in my Partners in Cream as well. Oh, whoops, sorry about that. I have in my Partners in Cream Project Pan this eyeshadow from ColourPop. It's a Super Shock Shadow in the shade Set to Stun. The goal is to finish this off. I don't know if I can achieve that. I've used up probably about half of this product, I would say. This is just a really pretty pink, and it does have like blue glitters in it, but they're so like, they're not like the main star of the show. Like the pink base is really the main star, and so I feel like even though there's blue glitters in it, it is a great like just everyday kind of neutral shade, so I really have been enjoying that. Okay, this is a Magnetic Z palette, and if you guys have been watching, you're very familiar. This is my Pan That palette for the second half of this year. It is the Depotted ABH Sultry palette. So, and I do have two Pan Those Eyeshadows in here as well. So you guys can see we're just making steady progress. It looks like Electric is empty, but it's not. I scraped it out and I'm using it as a loose shadow, which doesn't make it any better. So don't recommend doing that. But this is what the Subculture palette is looking like. Then the rest of these, no. This is in my Fall4U Project Pan. So I have the shades from the Avocado Toast palette. I have this Green Juice shade and then the Haas shade in Fall4U, and the goal with those is to hit pan. So you saw the other two eyeshadows from my Pan Those Eyeshadows, and then the other three shades from Pan Those Eyeshadows are in these three palettes. So I have this Kaleidos palette. Let me try to not blind you, but we are working on the shade ET, which is this dark green here. From the Uma Beauty Black Magic Allure palette, we are working on the shade Mystical right here. And then from Juvia's Place, the Tribe palette, we are working on this first shade right here, the kind of lime green shade. So give me just a moment and I will swatch out the shadows from like these palettes. Alright, so here are all those shadows. So here's the kind of lime green from the Tribe palette by Juvia's Place. This is Mystical from the Uma Beauty Black Magic Allure palette. This is ET from the Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green palette. This is Clary Sage, which is a single from NBA Cosmetics, which is an Etsy brand that's in my Pan Those Eyeshadows. This is Blossom Up from ColourPop, which is in Pan Those Eyeshadows. This is Haas from the BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast palette, as well as this is Green Juice from that same palette, and these two are in the Fall4U Project Pan. The rest are in Pan Those Eyeshadows, but I really like this little color story just looking at it, so thought it would be fun to show you guys. But that is it. That is all of the items that I am currently panning. Like I said, please check out the description box if you like these kind of videos. I will provide you with more content to binge, and until then, I will just see you guys in the next video. Bye!